As Israel's aggression in Gaza and Lebanon intensifies, the prospects for ceasefire are increasingly distant. Despite multiple international efforts, Israel's consistent refusal to halt operations and its strategic delay tactics point to a broader agenda, securing territorial gains, especially in the West Bank. With Gaza's negotiations faltering and Lebanon on the brink of escalation, the question remains: is a ceasefire truly achievable, or is this a prolonged strategy to solidify Israel's regional violations? Today, we will analyze Israel's political and military maneuvers, along with the underlying political motives driving the Israeli occupation forces, including territorial expansion. All of this and more we'll be discussing in Think Tank. Stay tuned.
Our world is becoming unhinged.
The Guardian has reported that Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Saar has confirmed certain progress in ceasefire talks with Hezbollah, facilitated by U.S. mediation. Israel's primary goal remains pushing Hezbollah north of Latania River to secure its northern border and prevent the group from acquiring new weapon systems. However, while diplomatic channels are active, including talks with Russia to limit arms supply to Hezbollah, no concrete proposals have yet reached the group. Hezbollah, through spokesman Mohammed Afif, indicated that negotiations are still in the early stages, with no formal offer presented. Despite these diplomatic efforts, Israel has intensified its military aggression in southern Lebanon. Defense Minister Israel Katz claimed Israel has defeated Hezbollah, and the ongoing ground assault, launched in September, continues to target Hezbollah's infrastructure. However, the situation remains fluid, with Hezbollah reportedly resisting Israeli advances. Ceasefire talks in Gaza and Lebanon are stalled as Israel's persistent inflexibility undermines peace efforts, territorial ambitions and strategic gains, driving its refusal to engage meaningfully while prolonging violence and deepening regional instability.
Ceasefire negotiations in Gaza and Lebanon are marked by Israel's consistent reluctance to engage meaningfully, which prolongs the violence and prevents resolution from being achieved. Multiple ceasefire efforts in Gaza, led by Egypt and the United Nations, have been obstructed by Israel's refusal to halt its aggression. Hamas has shown a considerable amount of conditional openness to ceasefire, but insists on terms regarding the blockade. Israel's strategy is to weaken Hamas while advancing territorial goals. The latest round of talks in October 2024 collapsed quickly, with Israel demanding total security before any truce. Similar patterns are seen in Lebanon, with third-party negotiations facilitated by Qatar and the United States. Hezbollah is open to de-escalation, but insists on Israeli aggression ending first. Israel, while seeking a stable northern border, has not committed to meaningful negotiations, indicating continued military pressure on Hezbollah. Israel's intransigent tactic to delay and obstruct is driven by two key objectives: weakening resistance groups in Gaza and Lebanon, and buying time for settlement expansion in the West Bank. Statements by Israeli officials, such as Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich's 2025 West Bank annexation plan, suggest Israel may deliberately prolong the conflict for territorial gains. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's wartime powers used to delay his trial, add a political dimension to Israel's military actions. This suggests that Israel's prolonged military operations are both strategic and political maneuvers. Overall, Israel's reluctance to finalize ceasefire talks reflects a broader territorial consolidation strategy rather than a genuine pursuit of peace.
Delving more into this, joining us now from Tunisia is Mr. Yahya Qnews, an expert on Israeli affairs. A very good day, sir, and a warm welcome to our show. Sir, is the ceasefire in southern Lebanon truly achievable, or is it just a prolonged strategy to solidify Israel's regional violations?
Good evening for you. Thank us for the hospitality. Of course, the American administration that is right now preparing for the new president to be in his office want to achieve something. This old administration want to do something. Even in the time of the change, this administration is unable to take serious measures. Only 2 months has been passed since the start of these strikes in southern Lebanon, and also we have seen the Israeli terms on the American administration. They are asking for the withdrawal of Hezbollah for after northern of Litani River. All these conditions and terms in the current negotiations, maybe we are going to see in the coming short term, in this transition period from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party, maybe you can see a significant progress in the negotiations in Lebanon that will come in the account of the negotiations in West Bank.
Sir, considering Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich's statements about annexing the West Bank by 2025, as well as recent military moves, do you see Israel at this point as having a real intention to a ceasefire soon?
Of course not, because the parties and members inside the Israeli right government that consists of 3 main parties, the Likud party and the regional Zionists, whatever it was, Smotrich or Ben Gvir, they are the most happiest. They are happy because of Trump's return, because of his vision regarding the Palestinian issue, not only through the statements. They are so happy with his Trump is back, and they are talking and start taking tangible steps regarding the annexation of the West Bank and the have the Israeli sovereignty in these
Sir, the
regions.
narrative now is all about the return again of Donald Trump in power. Is Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu counting that much on Trump's administration, and that he is going to be very decisive with Israel and having a very challenging situation with Israel and backing Israel as an ally?
Let's speak about the period until Trump returned to his post. The current Israeli occupation administration want to get benefit of everything to achieving some goals, whatever in Gaza or Palestine or in southern Lebanon. They are more close towards Trump, who has been giving this statement during his campaign period that the occupation forces Israel is needed to be extended and to other places.
Okay, sir, let's leave alone Trump and we'll see what Trump is going to be doing because all the narrative now it's all about Trump and being again the U.S. president. What role can external actors like the United States play in ceasefire negotiations, sir?
Of course, the current American administration, Biden administration, don't have a lot of options, and through their statement, we can understand their stance is very weak. They are only talking about the possibility of criticizing Israel for not able to deliver the aid for Gaza citizens, especially in the north end of Gaza Strip. Those who are talking about holding Israel the accountability or to I don't think they could have any pressures against Israel, and we are not supposed to wait that from the current administration, and we shouldn't wait from them to have any kind of serious ceasefire negotiations. We have seen the foreign minister of USA, Blinken, even Biden have been talking about the possibility of condemnation for Israel if they didn't respond regarding delivery of aid, and that explains that those who are talking cannot have any kind of pressures against Israel for a serious ceasefire negotiations. And in that regard, we can also read the withdrawal of Qatar, but the Egyptian role has been present, and we cannot ignore what is happening right now inside Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the other Arab states supporting the Palestinian cause, including the clear facts Egyptian support. This is how the Arab states are dealing with the current changes inside the USA.
Okay, sir, will Israeli occupation operations in Lebanon and Gaza eventually achieve its goals, and would that lead to peace?
Let me tell you that Israel and southern Lebanon don't want to occupy southern Lebanon. If we have seen the casualties in southern Lebanon, the destroying Hezbollah forces, but it's completely different in Gaza Strip or in Palestine.
On the verge of famine and ethnic cleansing.
In addition to reducing the annexation of settlements in Gaza Strip, we now seeing the military settlement and building of these new military locations. Gaza Strip, which is about 100,000 kilometers. So I think, yes, they have been increasing the ethnic cleansing in Gaza Strip.
Maneuver during ceasefire talks, and what does this reveal about its broader strategy in Gaza, sir?
And Israel is waiting to continue this genocide, to continue achieving its goals. Gaza Strip right now is reduced, and also the hostages, the destruction, all of that, returning Gaza Strip to the years back. That's what Israel want to achieve, in addition to if we have seen from Hamas and the BA, if we have seen the timeline of the Israeli occupation forces, there have been some discussions through negotiations. In the three positions, no Palestinian actor was present, and also Hamas, there is no representation for them.
Sir, sorry, because I'm running out of time. Do you see or read a ceasefire imminent?
if we have more pressures and there is a shift in the international community, especially from the West, and if there is serious pressure from the Security Council in order to implement a resolution for a ceasefire, maybe we're going to see a ceasefire. Even the Arab League that is working to support the Palestinian people and to stop the current genocide, especially what is happening.
Hopefully,
with
sir, we all wish, of course, for the best for the Middle East and a ceasefire as soon as possible. That was Mr. Yahya Qaoud, an expert on Israeli affairs from Tunisia. Thank you for your insights, sir, and your informative knowledge. Before we continue, let's take a look at this infographic about the humanitarian crisis in Lebanon. Stay tuned. Providing more analysis regarding the current updates about the possibility of a ceasefire approaching in Lebanon. Joining us from Beirut, Ali Yahya, a writer and political analyst. Welcome, and a very warm welcome, sir, to our show. Sir, how does Israel's strategy in Lebanon differ from its tactics in Gaza, and what does that reveal about its regional objectives, sir?
Thank you for the invitation. I think
pleasure,
that
sir.
Israel is acting like Hezbollah is the deadlock that must be eliminated, and eliminating and defeating Hezbollah.
Sorry again, sir, because I did not hear well. Do you say that Hezbollah should be eliminated?
Yes, Israel think that Hezbollah should be defeated or eliminated, because Israel thinks that it will be more easier to Israel to defeat and to eliminate the Palestinian case in Gaza and in the West Bank if Hezbollah and Lebanon is defeated. And I think that Israel now is using the negotiation to prolong the war.
To prolong the war, sir?
Yes, until now, they are just using the negotiation with Lebanon as a tactic, as they did in Gaza, to prolong the war. I mean, Tel Aviv, Benjamin Netanyahu, Smotrich, and Ben Gvir, and many others, they are acting as a winner, and they think that they must continue.
Sir, who's acting as a winner? Because I got lost. Who's acting as a winner?
Benjamin Netanyahu and Smotrich and Ben Gvir, they are acting as a winner until now, at least. They think that it is better to Israel to continue the war with Lebanon, to improve Israel from the third destruction, and to engineer a new Middle East, that Israel should be the center of it. That's why they think that they must continue with this attack on Lebanon, especially now during the second term of Donald Trump.
Perfect, sir. Sir, in the context of ongoing Israeli-Lebanese tensions, how have Hezbollah's negotiations with Israel evolved, especially regarding a ceasefire, sir? And of course, Hezbollah is very important in this context.
They thought that Hezbollah will be defeated, especially after the first 10 days.
Why do you see Hezbollah is going to be defeated?
I think that Hezbollah will not be defeated. They still have 118,000.
Yes, they do, sir.
Yes, they still have 118,000 fighters. They are still fighting. They are still escalating. They are still attacking.
Yes, sir. And despite the
Haifa and
assassination
Golan.
of all the leaders, despite the vacuum, no vacuum took place in Hezbollah, and they're still fighting on the front line.
Yes, despite the killing of many of Hezbollah leaders.
The assassination I just mentioned, sir.
Yes. Despite that, Hezbollah now is still escalating. Just yesterday,
No, Israel is escalating. Hezbollah is not escalating, sir.
It's just yesterday, Hezbollah launched the biggest attack on Haifa since 1948.
In retaliation, sir, it's retaliating.
Yes, as retaliation.
It is retaliation. Israel is bombing every day, sir.
Both of them, they are bombing.
Okay, sir, how significant? Sir, I don't want to discuss this. Sir, how significant is Netanyahu's legal situation in shaping Israel's military policy?
I mean, the defense minister in Israel said and announced it many times that they attacked the majority of the Hezbollah missiles. Just today, Hezbollah launched dozens of missiles against Haifa and Naharaya. Yesterday, 230 missiles against Haifa and Gush Dan. And every day, Hezbollah is still attacking Haifa and other cities and other military factions in Israel. And also, Israel is still attacking Lebanon, but Israel used their tactic, but Hezbollah still, until now, didn't use the majority of its tactics.
Okay, sir, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's, sir, I beg your pardon. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's wartime powers used to delay his trial, which is a big problem facing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Add a political dimension to Israel's military actions. What's your narrative on this, sir?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Okay, I'll repeat the question again, sir. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's wartime powers, what he is doing and the showing off he's doing and all the ethnic cleansing he's doing and the genocides and the atrocities makes him face all of this delays his trial because he is, of course, a war criminal at this point. Add a political dimension to Israel's military actions, your narrative, sir, on this.
I think despite the war crimes and despite everything and despite that Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel army is trying to push and to cross the red line, they couldn't yet.
Yes, sir, because he is delaying his trial.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear it well.
Because the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, if he stops what he's doing and reaches a ceasefire, then he gets into being a war criminal, sir. So he will never stop.
Yeah.
Your narrative, sir, on this.
I think that this is one of Netanyahu's tactics, that he is always jumping on the fact, on the daily fact. That's why I think that he is, as I said before, he is using the negotiation as a tactic. He will not stop the war. The majority of Israelis,
good,
let's be clear,
perfect,
they agreed with what he is doing, and that's why he thinks that he is a winner. He is not a winner. He will maybe a winner.
No, sir, he is never going to be a winner.
I mean, he thinks that he is a winner after a tactical achievement, but strategically, Benjamin Netanyahu, he is taking Israel into a big failed in the region. Israel will not.
So, sir, your conclusion is that Benjamin Netanyahu is taking Israel into a big failure. Thank you so much, sir. And that was Ali Yahya, a writer and political analyst from Beirut. Thank you for your insights, sir. And as the situation in Lebanon continues to deteriorate, the prospect of a ceasefire remains uncertain. Today, we have highlighted the grim realities faced by civilians, as well as the political and strategic maneuvers of the Israeli occupation forces. Join us next time as we continue to monitor the developments and bring you the latest analysis on the critical issues. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you very much for watching and stay tuned for more coming up here on Qnews.